yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. Back again, going to show you how to make a really simple, gorgeous snowflake. Perfect for decor, embellishments on gifts. Make them really small with a crochet cotton thread. Stick them in greeting cards. They are lovely. And well, they also have little picots in the little points there, so they are perfect for threading a ribbon through there, maybe an ornament hook. Also, of course, you can stiffen them, and they will hold their shape very nicely. I like them flippy floppy. I don't know about you, but, at any rate, for today's piece, I used, this is a weight of 3 yarn. You can, of course, use whatever you like, whatever works best for you, as I always say. And for that weight of 3 yarn, I'm going to be using a 5mm size H crochet hook, and they work up fast. It's only 5 rounds, and well, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Okay, round 1. Going to start off with a slip knot and a chaining of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then a slip stitch into that first chain so that we can create a ring, like so. Then for the actual beginning of the first round, going to chain up 1 and then do 12 single crochets into that center ring, and going to work over our tail. So that's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this should be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Perfect. Okay, then to finish up the round, slip stitch into that first single crochet that we did, and that will finish up round 1. And of course, you can take your tail end and you can cinch it and then sew in the end around all of your stitches and snip it right off. And we are all set to go on to round 2. Okay, round 2. Going to start off with a chain 2, which is going to count as our first double crochet. 1 and 2. Then double crochet into the next stitch. That's going to create our first pairing of 2 double crochets. And then chain 3. 1, 2, 3, double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and that makes up our second pairing. We need a total of 6 pairs of double crochets separated by chain 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3 chains, double into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double into the next 2 stitches, it's 1 and 2, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double into the next 2, 1 and 2, excuse me, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double into the next 2. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so after doing that chain 3, double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and that is our last pairing of double crochets. And then to finish up the round, chain 3 and slip stitch into the top of this first double that we did. So it's that second chain from the bottom. And the reason why I only chained up 2 is because I think it looks a lot cleaner and neater. Chaining up of 3, it usually ends up with a space in between the first 2 doubles, and I like the way this looks better, so that's why I do it that way. That being said, that is the end of round 2. Okay, round 3. Going to start off with another chain 2 double crochet, so 1 and 2, double crochet into the next double crochet stitch, and into our chain spaces we're going to be doing 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles. There we are. And then double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then at every corner point, 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles. It's that easy. So corner space, so 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, double into each of the next 2 stitches, okay, chain space, so that's 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, okay, double into each of the next 2 stitches, chain space, that's 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, okay, double into each of the next 2 stitches, pull out a little bit more yarn here. There we go. And we're almost there. So into the chain space, 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 more doubles, double into each of the next 2 stitches, and then in the chain space, 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, and we have come full circle, or hexagon as the case may be, and then slip stitch into the top of that first double that we made, second chain from the bottom, and there you are, the end of round 3. Okay, round 4. So round 4, we actually have to scooch over to this double crochet, and you'll see why, once we come full circle. So slip stitch into the top of the next double, and slip stitch into the next double. There we are. And then chain up 1, single crochet into that same stitch, single crochet into the next, and 1 into the chain space as well. There we are. Then going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 3 single crochets back. So first one is in the chain space. That's 1, and then 1 in each of the next 2 stitches for a total of 3 singles. There we go. Then chain 2, skip 2 stitches, that one and that one, then going with a single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then 1 in the chain space. So it's essentially 3 singles, chain 2, 3 singles. Then we need a chaining of 3, and then 3 more singles. So first is in the chain space, then 2, 1 in each of the next 2 stitches, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then single into the next 2 and in the chain space. Okay, chain 3, single in the chain space, single in the next 2, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, single in the next 2, and single in the chain space. Got a bit of a tangle here, bear with me. There we go. Okay, so we're in the chain space, so chain 3, single in the same space, single in the next 2 stitches, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, single in the next 2, single in the chain space, chain 3, single in the same space, single in the next 2 stitches, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, single in the next 2, single in the next space, chain 3, single in the same space, single in the next 2 stitches, and then, see, this is why we scooted over, because we have these 2 stitches that we did not work. So chain 2 and slip stitch into the top of that first single that we made after we scooted over. And there you are. That's the end of round 4. Last but certainly not least, round 5. Okay, so I'm going to start off the proceedings with a chaining up of 1 and a single crochet into our first stitch. Right there. Single into the next 2 stitches. Into the chain space, 2 singles, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into the same space, 2 singles. So it creates a loop. It's not technically a picot, but it is a loop, like so. Then proceed by doing single crochets into the next 3 stitches. This one on the end, it's a little bit squooshed, but got to get in there. So that's 1. Oops. 2 and 3 into the chain space, 2 singles, and then single into each of the next 3. Oops. And then we reached a chain space again. So 2 singles. Come on, work with me here. There we are. Now, if you wanted to do a picot, I would suggest doing more than 4 chains, perhaps 6 chains. I'll show you this right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Slip stitch into that first chain that we created, going underneath 2 loops of that chain, and slip stitch, and then you would do 2 more singles into that same chain space. So this is an alternative if you so choose. However, I kind of like the continuated look of the loops. You know, that's just my personal preference. So I'm going to undo this, but I wanted to show you just in case if picots are your thing, who am I to say no, right? So I undid those stitches. So I'm going to do it over with 2 singles, chain 4, 2 singles in that same space. There we are. 3 singles, and then we have to fill in that gap. So 3 singles, 1 in each. Okay, 2 singles in the chain space. Single into each of the next 3. Okay, corner space, so that's 2 singles. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more singles. Single into each of the next 3. Okay. Into the chain 2 space, 2 singles. Single into each of the next 3. Okay. Into the chain space, 2 singles. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more singles in that same space. Single into each of the next 3 stitches. Two singles in the chain 2 space. Single into each of the next 3 stitches. Okay, and we've got another corner point. So 2 singles in that chain space, chain 4, 2 singles in the same space, single into each of the next 3 stitches, two singles in the chain space, single into each of the next 3 stitches, okay, into the chain space, 2 singles, chain 4, 2 singles. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4. Get those 2 more singles in there. There we are. And we are almost there. Okay, single into each of the next 3 stitches. It's 1, 2, 3. Then into the chain space, 2 singles. And by Jove, we have come full circle. So slip stitch into that first single that we did. Slip stitch. Okay, and then you can cut your yarn, pull out your loop, and there you are. And then, of course, the nice thing about these corner points is that you can thread a ribbon or a hook through there and hang them up, and they are so pretty. And they're so easy, too. They worked up really fast. Just 5 rounds, and you get something really lacy and gorgeous. Alrighty, my dears, so that's going to conclude our video for today. Want to thank you ever so much for joining me, and if you liked today's video, please give a little thumbs up button down below. You know that I appreciate your appreciation as always. And I want to hear from you in the comments section. Let me know, what are you going to do with these? What sorts of yarns, what sorts of colors, etc., etc. Always curious about your creative process and your journey. And also, for those of you that are not privy to the information, for those of you that don't know, that's the word I was looking for, I do have other snowflake video tutorials as well. Playlist is in the description box down below. And you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.